Vaheguru. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you everyone for coming today. Today is week 13, the last week of the Salok Mahalla course. And we're going to be covering the dohra today, which is like the last section of this whole Shabad. And it's really interesting. I learned a lot whilst doing my research for this, because the whole mood of the Shabad up until this point is one thing, it's advice, and from this point onwards, Maharaj completely changes the whole feel of the Shabad. It's really interesting, so I'm looking forward to sharing what I learned with you guys. Before I get into it, as usual, let's start off with the Mool Mantar, and let's do this together. Ik Oankar Satnam Karta Purkh Nirvair Akal Murat Ajuni Sahapam Gur Prasad Jap Ad Sach Jugad Happy Sach Nanak Hosi Pi Sach Ad Sach Jugad Sach Happy Sach Nanak Hosi Pi Sach Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Okay, so let's start off with what is a dohra. So up until this point we've had Saloks, which is rhyming in the style of couplets. And a dohra is exactly the same. It's rhyming in the style of couplets, but the rhyme itself is different. So it's a bit like the devil is in the detail. The rhyme style, the syllables within the lines is different from a salok. Don't ask me what they are. I'm not well versed in terms of the music and the beats and stuff, but that's all it is. So the rhyming style changes from here on. And like I was saying just now, so Maharaj changes the whole feel of the Shabad. They say, Bal chutgyo, meaning that all my strength has gone from me now. Chutgyo means escaped. Bandhana pare, that I'm in bonds now, I'm in shackles. They go on to say, Gachuna hota upai, that I actually can't do anything. So up until this point, if you remember, Maharaj just spoke about how the world isn't here, it's not stable. You know, looking at gold and iron alike, they've spoken about the saints. Now everything changes. Now that same Guru that's given us all of that advice, they're now saying that I can't do anything. They go on to say, Gahu Nanak, so this is the light of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, right? So all the way from Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the same light has traveled from Guru to Guru, and this is the 9th light of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And they're saying, Abba Ota Har, that my ought, my support is going to be Vaheguru Ji. Gajji ho ho sahai. So just like they supported the elephant, which we'll get into in a minute, this is how Vaheguru Ji themselves are going to support me. Now this dohra, this couplet, was actually sent as a letter to their son, Guru Gobind Singh Ji. So Guru Gobind Rai Ji, they would have been at that time, right? So they were 9 years old. And this letter was sent to their son, and their son actually responded with the next couplet, the next dohra. So this is what Guru Gobind Singh Ji says back to him, right? They say, Bal hua. So we've gone from having no strength, and now they're saying, Bal hua, that you have got the strength. Bandhana chute, that all those bonds you're talking about, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, they're all gone. Sab kich hota upai. You can do everything. Why? Nanaka, sab kich, everything, tumare haath mein, is already in your hands. Tume hi hota sai, that you are actually the support of everyone. Right? So this was a test to their son. So the 9th Guru was actually testing the next Guru, the 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji. They were tested at 9 years old by their own father to actually show the Sangat. If we look at Guru Gobind Singh Ji's words here, they're saying that the Guru, the light of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, is Vaheguru Ji, that you are the support of everyone. Right? And that is completely in line with what all of the other Guru Sahiban have said up until this point. So this is Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's way of showing us the Sangat that, look, my son might be 9 years old, but he's ready to be the next Guru. So going back to the Saki about the elephant, it actually starts off with a king. And this king, in their later years of their life, they spend a lot of time meditating. And what they would do, they'd go out into the jungles, they'd sit like they're sitting now, and they'd close their eyes and they wouldn't move for ages. Their meditation was so deep. No matter what went on around them, they would not break their meditation. Now, a sage or a sadhu or a holy person heard of this king, this great king who left his kingdom just to go and meditate in the jungle. So this sage goes to meet this king, saying, right, let's see what this person's all about. They go to meet the king, and as you can imagine, the king is sitting there in meditation. So the sage goes and sits near him. He thinks, I don't want to break the king's meditation, so I'll sit quietly and wait for him to finish. He sits, he waits, 1 hour passes, 2 hour passes, it goes on and on and on. The king doesn't budge. Eventually, the sage gets annoyed, and he breaks the king's meditation by shouting at him. He says, "O king, do you really think you're that much bigger than me? That you can't even respect me enough to say hello to me? I've been here for hours waiting for you, and you're just sitting there with your eyes closed, meditating. Don't you know like who I am," kind of thing. What this sage does is he actually curses the king. He says, "You think you're so big that in your next life, you're going to be an elephant. I'll make you big. You watch. I'll get you back." Right? And it seems really harsh, but it all comes full circle, and it all plays out so beautifully. So what these sages do, what these holy people do, might seem like a curse on the face of it, but as it pans out, it can actually be a blessing as well. So this king is born as an elephant, and this elephant's name is Gajindra. Gajindra the elephant. So what happens is, Satsangaji, with us in this cycle of reincarnation, we tend to carry through qualities from our previous lives. All of us, every single one of us, right? So the king Gajindra has these royal-like qualities about him. He has these leadership qualities about him. So he ends up being like the king of the elephants, you can say, right? He leads the whole herd. Everyone follows what Gajindra does. But he also did a lot of meditation in his past life. So this elephant, what he does is he goes into a lake every single day and he plucks like a lotus flower. Lotus flower, they sit on the surface of the water. So he plucks a lotus flower every day and he offers it to Vaheguruji. That's his form of meditation. So he does that every day, right? Now one day, Gajindra, he goes into a different lake. He goes to pick a lotus flower just like usual, and then he feels something bite his leg. And when he looks down, he realizes that this crocodile you can see there has taken hold of his leg. Now, at that time, the other elephants hadn't entered the water yet, and they were about to go and help Gajindra, right? Gajindra, he raises his trunk, and he says, no. He says, stay where you are. Don't come into the water, because I've got this, don't worry. He looks down at the crocodile, and he thinks, I'm so big, I'm an elephant, right? All I need to do is get 1 foot on you, and you're dead. So he thinks, I can sort this problem out myself. I don't need any help. So he tells the other elephants to don't enter the water, you stay where you are. So this crocodile, not only is it biting Gajindra's leg, it's actually dragging them deeper into the water. And as Gajindra is struggling, it's obviously hard for anyone that swam to move quickly in water, so he's getting tired. He's tiring out more and more. It goes on for ages, and eventually he begins to drown. As Gajindra's head is going under the water, as he's about to lose his life, he realizes that he's lost. He's lost this fight. There's no way he's going to beat this crocodile. So what he does, he sees a lotus flower floating on the water, and he thinks, you know what? Let me just, as one last act, let me just do my meditation anyway. So he plucks this lotus flower with his trunk, and he holds it up in the air to Vaheguruji. And at that time, Vaheguruji, in the form of Vishnu, they come and they save Gajindra. They save him by using their chakkar. A chakkar is like a really sharp disc, right? You see a lot of the Khalsa will wear chakkar on their dastar. It's like a sharp disc. It's a really unique weapon. Khalsa Ji at the back's got one on his dastar. And that was actually used in wars to be thrown at the enemy. Right? It's incredibly sharp. So this chakkar gets thrown at the crocodile dies. Crocodile dies, the elephant gets saved. So if we look at it on the face of it, if we had to put a villain to this story, who would you say is the villain? Let's just have a quick show of hands. Who would say the elephant's the villain in this story? No one? One? Who would say the crocodile's the villain in this story? Just a show of hands. Okay. Most of you. Okay, fair enough. Right. Now, we have something in common with Gajindra the elephant. And no, I'm not calling anyone a fat hatti before anyone starts cancelling me. Yeah? We all have something in common with Gajindra the elephant, every single one of us, young and old. All of us have something in common, and that is pain. We are all going to experience pain. It might not be a crocodile, but we are going to experience pain. I promise I'm not trying to depress anyone when I'm talking about this, right? But I wanted to speak about pain because this is one of the most common themes in Gurbani. If we had to list like the top 10 things Maharaj talks about, pain would be in that top 10 list. They always talk about pain because they're actually trying to get us to understand what pain actually is. So let's go into this a little deeper. Right. So what sort of pain can we experience? Has anyone got any ideas? What pain, what can hurt us? Any suggestions? This is hurting me right now. How could you do this to me? Hanji? 10 points. Physical pain. Hanji? Loving this. Mental. Emotional. Who's going to get the fourth one? Come on, don't let me down now. There's one more pain. So we've got physical, mental, emotional. Yes. All right, I'm not in pain anymore. Right, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Fantastic. Okay. Physical. That's fairly straightforward, right? We get an injury, our bodies, they can get hurt. That's a physical pain, right? Cuts, bruises, etc. That's a physical pain we feel. Mental can be like low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, all of these things. It might not be a physical pain, but it's actually up here in our head. It's something mentally we're suffering with. And then we've got emotional. Emotional pain is like when someone hurts us. Or it could be when we've hurt someone else and the guilt of us doing it is hurting us. It can also be when a loved one separates from us, right? Maybe through death. Maybe we've experienced the death of a loved one. That pain, there's nothing like it. It is so horrible. It like rips your heart in two, right? That's an emotional pain. And then we've got the spiritual pain. So the spiritual pain is this pain of life and death, going through all of these lives over and over again, not getting to the end goal, right? That's the spiritual pain. It can also be bedarg, separation, knowing that we haven't merged back with our Guru, we haven't merged back with Bhai Guruji yet. We've still got this bit of dirt inside of us. So all of this is pain. No matter how much we try and avoid it, we can't. This is unfortunately a part of life. Even if, like many of you here now, are learning self-defense, right? There's even Bibia classes that have started. So everyone's learning some sort of self-defense. Most people are learning some sort of combat style. And I'm sure those of you that are training would agree that even the training, it can be pretty brutal, right? It can hurt. I think it was Mike Tyson that said, everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face, right? It hurts. Even training to be able to look after yourself and look after others, that's pain. Even if we wanted to just be fit and healthy in general, let's put combat aside. If we just want to be fit and healthy, we have to put our body through some real horrible stuff. Right? We've got to work it, we've got to sweat, it's going to hurt, it's horrible. We can't avoid that pain. And the opposite of that, let's just say we didn't want to be fit and healthy, well then we'd suffer in a different way. Then we'd suffer with diseases like, diabetes, high blood pressure, all of these things, right? So it's almost like we can't actually escape pain, but we can choose to an extent what pain we want to feel, right? So it's almost like pick your pain. Even those who want to be successful in a worldly sense, more often than not, have a whole story of failure behind them, right? Maybe you were going for a job, it didn't work out, something else worked out instead. There's some sort of setback, always. There's some sort of failure on this journey. Now the question is, Satsangaji, is how much pain are we going to go through before we actually turn to our Guru? Right? Just like the elephant had to wait until they were literally drowning, and until they knew that they had lost that fight, only then did they reach out to Vaheguru. They didn't do it straight away. It's a really important detail of that Saki. So how much pain are we going to have to go through before we actually turn to our Guru and say, Maharaj, let's look to Maharaj for advice. What does Maharaj say about pain, right? What are we going to learn from Maharaj? So here, Maharaj says, Ab hum chali thakur pehe har. that I've come to your door, Vaheguruji, haar ke. It's the most important line, haar ke. I came after I lost. I'm losing because I can't handle this pain. I'm losing because I don't understand this pain I'm going through. Even people that are achieving so much in a worldly sense, they can still be in a lot of pain. They still haven't filled that like void. There's still something missing. Right? If we look at those of you that know people that are really wealthy, they're probably still working. It's almost like it's never enough. Right? You get to one like financial target and it's like, right, I've got to get the next one now. I've got to go and I've got to go again and again and again. It just doesn't stop. And that in itself is a form of pain. Now, Harke, Sikhi is all about losing, right? If we want to be happy, Maharaj says we've got to lose our greed. If we want to be peaceful, then Maharaj says we've got to lose our attachment. So if we want to merge with Vaheguruji, if we want to merge with God, then we've actually got to lose our ego. It's all about losing in order to win, right? So if we aren't willing to lose in the first place, if we aren't willing to lose our anger, for example, I speak to people and they say, you know what, I'm just an angry person. That's just the way God made me. And it's like, where's the fight? Like, are you trying to overcome it, or have you just given up? Right? We're not even we're not willing sometimes to let go. We're not willing to lose these things in order to gain a bigger prize. And Maharaj goes on to say, Jab hum saran Prabhu ki aaya. I've come to your sharan, I've come to your sanctuary, Prabhu, Vaheguruji. Rakh Prabhu pave mar. Either you keep me now, you protect me, because I can't handle what I'm going through, you do it, or kill me. Because I know I can't do it. It's exactly like the elephant, actually. The elephant was drowning, right? He said, Rakh Prabhu pave mar. Vaheguruji, you're going to have to protect me now. I can't do it myself. Just like we said before, Harke, the elephant lost in that battle as well. So sometimes when it comes to pain, it can actually bring us closer to a good place. So a lot of people I've spoken to, they actually come into Sikhi because of pain. They come into Sikhi because they went through a really bad chapter in their life and they had nowhere else to go. I'm sure people in this darbar probably can relate to that to some extent. So when it comes to pain, is it necessary? Do we need it? Let's ask Guru Nanak Dev Ji. They say, Dukha daru sukha roga paya. That dukh is a medicine. It's actually a daru. This pain is a medicine. And they say sukh is a roga. Roga is like a disease. They say pleasure is a disease. But then they explain what they're talking about. They say, Ja sukh, when I'm in pleasure, dam na hoye, then I forget you, Vaheguruji. So they're not saying that every pleasure is bad for us. They're only talking about the pleasures that make us forget Vaheguruji. Those pleasures are bad for us. They're not saying that every pain is good for us, but they're saying the pain that makes us remember Vaheguruji, then that's a good thing. Abhi koi palaya, like that's helped us in some way. So we said that the crocodile was the villain, but were they really? Were they really the villain? Because it was actually the elephant that said, no, I can do this myself. It was the elephant that had to go through so much pain, almost drown, before they turned to Vaheguruji, before they turned to God. The crocodile, what's interesting about the crocodile is in their previous life, they were bathing in a river themselves, and just as a joke, there's loads of people bathing in the river. They grabbed a guy's leg, they didn't know who the guy was, grabbed his leg, and they lifted him up. He fell into the river. This guy was a sage, another sage. You know, these sages, they love their curses, right? So he cursed the man. He goes, you lifted my leg and dragged me into the river. In your next life, that's all you're going to be doing. I'm going to make you come back as a crocodile. You're going to wait for people to come in the river like I did, and then you're going to grab them by the leg. And the guy said, what? I was just joking, right? Like, I didn't know any of this. How can you put such a horrible curse on me? It was just a mistake. And the sage, he said, don't worry, because in your next life, God themselves is going to bless you. God themselves is going to bless you they're going to end your life and you're going to merge back with Vaheguru. So it's actually a big blessing. It seems harsh at first, like I said earlier, but these things are actually a blessing. So that crocodile is actually more of a hero than a villain, if you think about it in that sense, right? Okay, and just to finish off this point, so Mara said, "Tu karta karna main nahi, ja ho kari na hoy." That you are the creator, you do everything. Even if I try to do something, I can't. This is the mindset of a Sikh, to put everything at the feet of our Guru. That's the mindset of a Sikh. Right from the morning, as soon as we wake up, Mara tusi kirpa karo. I'm getting in the car, I've got to get here, tusi kirpa karo. I've got to deliver a talk, I hope I don't mess up. It's in your hands, you do it. Tusi kirpa karo. You're going to do this. If anyone learns anything, it's nothing to do with me, it's Maharaj's kirpa. They're doing everything, they're moving all of these pieces. They're doing everything, they are the karta. So, sorry, I lost my way. It's also about keeping hold of Maharaj. You know, sometimes either coming to the Gurdwara like we are today there was traffic, it was crazy, you know, we might want to turn around, or sometimes we don't have time to do our nityam, so we think, okay, I'll just leave it. Sometimes we listen to other things other than Kirtan. When we hold on to those things, when we still come to the Gurdwara despite things not being perfect, when we still read our nityam, our Japji Sahib, even though everything's not perfect, that's actually our way of holding a lotus flower to our Guru. Does that make sense? That's our lotus flower. We're holding on to our Guru. We're saying, Maharaj, despite what I'm going through, I'm still not going to let go of you. We might be drowning ourselves. There might be physical pain we're feeling, but Maharaj, my focus is still on you. You're still the karta. I can't do it, so you do it. So when we carry on walking this path of Sikhi, it's like that's our lotus flower. We're holding that out to our Guru. So coming back to Salok Mahalla Nava now, the dohra. So Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji here, they say, Sang Sakha Sabataj Ge. That all my Sang, all my friends, they've all left me now. All right, it's a common thing. I think we can all think of friends. Maybe back in the day we thought we're never going to leave them, and now we barely even talk to them, right? It happens. They go on to say, Go nani bi osat, that no one else is actually with me. So who is going to be with us? Gaho Nanaka, says the light of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, in this bipat, in this difficult time, who's going to be with me? Deka Ega Raghunath. Raghunath is another word for Vaheguru Ji. Raghunath is another word for our Guru. That Maharaj, you're going to be with us. And just to give you an example of this, there's a very famous Guru Sikh called Bhai Rama Singh. Has anyone heard of Bhai Rama Singh? Can I just have a show of hands? Oh wow, that's okay, a lot of you. Okay, for those of you that haven't, Bhai Rama Singh was a very famous Guru Sikh that only passed away, I think, in 2002. So we're not talking like hundreds of years ago, fairly recently in that respect. They were a great Guru Sikh, and they wrote a book about all the things that happened in their life. So in this book, The True Guru from Manmukta Guru Sikh, in this book they detail what happened in their childhood. They talk about all these spiritual experiences they had. They go into a lot of detail, right? It's a really interesting read, this book. Now they talk about one time when they went to sleep and their soul actually left their physical body. And they talk about what happened at that time. So they say that when they left their physical body, sorry, I'm just going to bring it back a bit. When they left their physical body, they were actually being taken to Dharamraj. Dharamraj is the demigod who judges us at the end of this life. That judges all our actions, what we say, what we think, and what we do, right? All of these things they judge. And depending on what we do is how far we get on this journey back to the One. So on this journey to Dharamraj, so they haven't even reached where they're going to be judged yet. And they describe in a lot of detail of what they saw, right? It's really interesting. They say, on the way, I saw other souls being taken away as well. They weren't the only one. They were being tortured by the Jamdoots. These Jamdoots, they actually work for Dharamraj, right? They're not a nice bunch, unfortunately. They have weapons of their own, sticks, whips, and they actually beat souls. Right, so Dharamraj has these Jamdoots. He sends them off to take the soul from the body. That's how we die. and then the Jamduts actually bring the soul to Dharamraj to be judged. Now, Bhai Rama Singh, what they say is, we were in a long line with many souls in front of me and many behind. However, my soul was not being tortured. Why? Because I had recited God's name. Right? So he had actually meditated. So his soul was being treated very different from everyone else. What's interesting is, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, hundreds of years ago, in Sukhmani Sahib, they already tell us about this. Gurbani actually speaks in detail about what it's like when we leave our physical body, what that other world is actually like, what that journey is like. So they say, that on that path, that's so long that the miles can't even be counted. You lose track of how long this path is. So like Bhai Ramaji saying, there were so many people in front of him, excuse me, and there were so many people behind him, it was a really long path. And then what does Maharaj say? What happens? Har ka naam uha sangatosa. That naam, meditation, every time we read a Japji Sahib, every time we said Vaheguru, every time we sang or listened to Kirtan or done Vichar like we're doing now, where we're learning about Gurbani, all of this is actually going to be our sustenance. It's actually going to protect us. Right? So it's in line with what Bhai Ramaji is saying. What Bhai Ramaji is saying is in line with the Shabad, what our Guru is saying. So Bhai Ramaji, they go on to the next bit. They say, as we walked along, we passed a very dark area. They say it was very frightful. We saw some very frightful scenes. They were so terrifying that even seeing them, a person could faint. Imagine how terrible the noises they must have been hearing. That just to even see what's happening to these other souls, not him, just the other people, could make someone faint. It was that brutal, it was that horrible. And again, Guru Arjan Dev Ji in Sukhmani Sahib, they say, Jehe perde maha andgubara, where there's andgubara, where there's so much darkness, like completely pitch black. What happens then? Harka naam sanga ujiara. That naam again is going to be with you. It's going to protect you, just like it's protecting Bhai Ramaji. Now Bhai Ramaji gets onto the next section. The next bit, they say, as we went further, we came to an extremely hot place. He said it feels like there was fire under our feet. That's how hot it was in this place. He says, then there was a big hill and we were ordered to climb. He says, those whose souls were soiled, meaning that those that didn't meditate, those that didn't lead a good life, it was very difficult for them to actually climb this hill. The Jamduts beat them and forced them to climb. So imagine a really steep hill. It's virtually impossible to get up. And you've got these Jamduts, multiple Jamduts, just beating you until you get up that hill. But then he says those with pure souls climb the hill very easily. Again, pure souls being those who meditated. He says according to the Hindu faith, it takes 1 year to reach the court of Dharamraj. 1 whole year, 365 days. That's how long this horrible journey is. But he says my soul was traveling at a very fast speed. Along the way, he's traveling faster than them cars, right? Along the way, I saw all these scenes, but they did not affect my soul directly. He's being protected, he's seeing it, but he's not experiencing it. It's not happening to him. And again, Maharaj here, they say, Jehe maha bayana tapata bahu kama, where there's just so much heat, and there's just like a blazing sunshine. You can't escape it. It's so hot in that place. What happens? Dehe harka naam ki tum upara chama. That naam is going to give us shade. Maybe literally and maybe in a metaphorical sense as well, in that it's actually going to protect us in that place as well. It's going to protect us from those beatings. It's going to protect us from the heat. So the Guru in the form of naam is our protector. Right? So what's key to note here is that the Shabad, the prayer, was always the Guru. Right? The Shabad was always the Guru. Always. There's no difference between Guru Nanak Dev Ji and Japji Sahib. There's no difference between Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji and Salok Mahalla. If we want to get to know our Guru, then all we got to do is read the Shabad. This is our Guru. This is their personality, right? So for those of you that have been following Salok Mahalla, you'll know that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, at this point, their personality is quite stern. They're saying it straight. They start off, the first thing they say is Guru Gobind Gayo Nahi. If you don't sing the praises of the one, Janama Akara Takin, your whole life is wasted. That's the first thing they say. Remember Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji? They're our father's father. They're Guru Gobind Singh Ji's father. So they are our Baba Ji. So grandparents, for those that have them, you'll know that they tell us quite sternly. They say it straight. They don't beat around the bush sometimes. They say it straight to us. And this is what Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's personality is. This is what Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is. And they're saying it obviously from a place of love, but they're saying it in Gurbani. So the Shabad is always the Guru. And this is why we bow to the Shabad. This is why we bow to our Guru, Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So what happens is by Ramaji, they wake up, their soul comes back into the body after all of this, right? And all they can say is, Ad Gur E Namahe. They keep saying it, Jugad Gur E Namahe. They say it over and over again. That I bow to my primal Guru who was here at the very beginning of everything. I bow to my Guru who's the Guru of all the ages. They don't stop being the Guru, they're the Guru forever. I bow to that Guru. They keep saying it over and over again, they're crying. They're feeling sick, they're feeling so horrible after what they've experienced on that journey. That all they can say is that Ad Gur E Namahe, Jugad Gur E Namahe. And this is the start of Sukhmani Sahib. So it's all sort of come full circle. So the pain he saw made him remember his Guru. Okay, so no one was with Bhai Ramaji, Sang Sakha Sab Taj Ke, Gahu Nanak Biyo Saath, Gahu Nanak Ehe Bipat Mein Tek Ek Raghunath. That only Naam was with him. Naam was so powerful that it can't actually even be destroyed. Maharaj says, Naam Rahiyo, Sadhu Rahiyo, Rahiyo Guru Gobind. That Naam itself, our prayers, it can never be destroyed. So I'm going to take it back a step. If we start with the ik, right? Everything started from the singularity. You can call it Vaheguru, you can call it God, Allah, Ram, the Big Bang, whatever. They're all different words for the same thing. It's just the singularity. So that one made all of creation. Everything we see now before us, including ourselves, that one made the whole creation. Now at some point, that creation is going to end and it's all going to go back into one again. As for when that's going to happen, I'm not too sure. Hopefully Maharaj lets me finish my talk first before they end the whole of creation, but you never know. So eventually, this whole creation is going to end. We're going to go back into the one. We're going to merge back into the one. So Naam can't be destroyed. We've seen it, how it protects us in the next world, through these stories of Bhai Ramaji, through our Guru telling us as well. So Naam is that singularity. The ik is Naam, right? If only the one can be constant, then Naam can be constant. So the Naam is one as well. I hope I'm explaining this properly. So the ik and Naam are not two different things. They're the same. The saints, the sadhus, they're going to stay as well. So the sadhus, so how I was saying about this creation, it's going to go back into the one at some point in time. The sadhus, these saints, are those that through Naam, they've already merged back. So they've like beaten the rest of creation. They're just moving faster than everyone else. They've already gone back to the one. And what happens is the one sends them back to us to get everyone else back on the path as well, to help everyone else come up. So that's, when we talk about saints, that's all they've done. They've completed this journey, and now they've come back to help us complete it as well. And Rahiyo Guru Gobind. So Guru is the Guru and Gobind is Vaheguru. They're both the same thing. So the Guru is one, the Sadhu is, they are one, they merge back into the one, and Naam is the one as well. So these are all different names for the same thing. Then they say, Gahu Nanak ehe jagat mein kina japiyo Gurmanth. That it's very rare to find someone who actually meditates. Right? Gahu Nanak, Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying, ehe jagat mein, within this whole world, not just talking about one area, in the whole world, it's very rare to find someone who meditates. Maharaj is here, Japji Sahib's here, Salok Mahalla is here, everything is here, everything we need is right here. But there's very few of us compared to everyone else in the rest of the world. Very few people doing what Maharaj Kirpa we're doing now, we're blessed to do now. Then they go on to say, Ram Nama Ur Main Gayo, that now I've got Nam, now it's residing in my heart. Now I'm meditating from a place of love, right? Ur means heart. It's a very important word here, that we meditate not robotically, but from a place of love. Jake Samnehi Goy. There's nothing like it. There's nothing equivalent to Nam, nothing equivalent to this meditation. That by meditating, all my troubles are taken away. It doesn't mean that we're not going to experience pain, but we can actually understand the pain we're experiencing. We can actually rise above this whole pain and pleasure cycle. Right? So this whole dohra, so we've come to the end of the dohra, but this whole dohra is actually, when I was thinking about it, it's actually an analogy for Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's Shahidi. A Shahidi is a martyrdom when someone gives their life, right? So this dohra, another way we can look at it, is it's actually the final story of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. So let's go through and see how it all links. So when Maharaj says Bala Chutkiyo, whose strength escaped them? It was the Kashmiri Pandits, wasn't it? It was those leaders of the Hindu faith who said, we're being murdered, we're being oppressed, we're being converted, our mandirs are being knocked down. We can't look after ourselves, we can't do it. So they're harke, like the elephant. They've lost. And they're now coming to Raghunath, they're coming to our Guru, they're coming to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, Vaheguru Ji themselves, to say, Maharaj, you do it, you help us. We can't do anything, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, you do it. It's actually an ardas. If you think about it, an ardas is a humble request from a servant, and these are humble requests from those servants of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. So then they say, Kahu Nanaka ab ota hara gaj jo ho sahai. So Vaheguru Ji, you yourself are going to protect me. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, you're going to protect me like you protected the elephant. That you do it, Maharaj, we can't. And then, really interestingly, in the second dohra, so this, if you remember, was the letter sent back by a 9-year-old Guru Gobind Singh back to their father. So let's look at this. They say, Bala hua bandhana chute, sab kichha hota upay. Kahu Nanaka, Nanaka sab kichha tumre haath mein, tum hi hota sahai. Who spoke in that court at that time? Who heard the plight of the Kashmiri Pandits before Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji and spoke? It was Guru Gobind Singh Ji. At 9 years old, they say, Nanaka sab kich tumre haath mein. They looked at their father, they said, Maharaj, you're the Guru. You are Nanak, you are Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, only you can save these Kashmiri Pandits. Only you've got the power to do it. And that's what Guru Gobind Singh Ji said at that time. And this is what they're repeating in their letter now. Sangha Sakha Sabatajge, Go Nani Bilsa. No one is with us. We have no friends, Maharaj. This is what the Kashmiri Pandits are saying. You do it yourself. We've got no one else who's going to help us now. We're going to be finished. Kahu Nanaka he bipatame take ek Raghunath. Right? Raghunath. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, you do it. You're going to have to help us now again. And then Nam Rahyo, Sadhu Rahyo, Rahyo Guru Gobind. Sorry, the word has been chopped up a bit, Rahyo there, sorry. So this is actually Salok Mahalla itself. This Upadesh, this teaching, Salok Mahalla came through the pain of the people. Right? Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was in prison in Delhi when they wrote Salok Mahalla at that time. In order to save the Kashmiri Pandits, in order to save the Hindu faith, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji put themselves into jail. And it was at that time that they said this Bani to the Sikhs, to us. Right? This was their Bani. So this is Salok Mahalla, Kahu Nanaka he jagat mein kina japyo gramant. But only very few of us are going to recite this Bani. And in this Bani of Salok Mahalla, Maharaj talks about how most of the world are lost. People chase after gold and all these things, right? They talk about the sadhus, they give us all of these teachings, but very few people actually meditate on these teachings. And lastly then, Ram Nama Ur Main Gayo, Jake Samne Hi Koi. This is all about the Shahidiyah. So what happened was, Emperor Aurangzeb, they asked the crowds of hundreds that were standing there, that look, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is saying that he's the sole representative of the Hindu faith. This one person, that's all they had to do is convert one person. Emperor Aurangzeb thought it was his lucky day, that all I've got to do is convert one person, the Guru, and that's it, the whole Hindu faith, I've got him. They said, who else is going to stand with Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji? Who else is a Sikh? And only 3 people stepped forward at that time. Now let's look at what they done with Naam. By Dayalaji, let's start with him. In the boiling hot water, the pot of water they were put in with a raging fire underneath, the people executing him, the Mughals, they couldn't stop Bhai Dayalaji from doing his Simran. They couldn't stop that. He kept doing his Naam. Bhai Mati Das Ji on the top left, who's being sawn in half, he only had one worry. There was something he was worried about before he died. When they asked him, what's your last wish? He says, go slow. Don't, sorry, I'm not laughing, it's just, sometimes it blows my mind. He says, you're going to cut me with this sharp blade from my head down my whole body. Don't go fast, don't kill me quick, go slow. Imagine if we're in that position, we'd say go fast. We don't want to feel that pain for so long, right? We'd rather die as soon as possible. By Mati Das Ji saying, go slow, I've got a Japji Sahib to finish. I'm worried about finishing my Japji Sahib. I'm not worried about the pain. I'm not worried about what's going to happen to my body. I'm worried about this Japji Sahib. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji blessed by Mati Das Ji, they said, by Mati Das, no matter what happens, you're not going to leave your body no matter what happens to it until you finish this Japji Sahib. By Mati Das Ji they start with the Mool Mantra, they start reciting Japji Sahib. By the time the blade is cut through their whole body, there's Japji Sahib coming out of the left side of their body, there's Japji Sahib coming out of the right side of their body. Right, they didn't leave until that Japji Sahib was finished. That's how they took the support of Naam in such a horrible situation. Now let's look at Bhai Sati Das Ji. Right, they were wrapped in cotton. They were doused with oil and they were going to be set on fire. When they asked Bhai Mati Das Ji, what's your last request? Any last thing you want to say? What do you want? They said, you've tied me up. I need you to do something for me. The executioners got happy. They were like, right, we've broken him. They were killing the Guru Sikhs in front of the Guru to try and break the Guru. And they thought they're broken by Sati Das Ji as well. He said, I need you to do one thing for me. Don't free me. He said, but just turn my body so I can face my Guru. Turn my body so that when you set me alight, when I die, that my Guru sees me burning. That my Guru sees me dying. My words... My words, Satsangaji, are very cheap. Very, very cheap. It's very easy to talk about people that have gone through this. Because what they've gone through, what they did, is worth so much that even to say the name by Sati Das, I don't even feel worthy even saying their name, let alone talk about their shahidi. We talk about being set on fire in 30 seconds like it's an easy thing to do. When realistically, if we touch something hot, how quickly do we take our hand away from it? We burn ourselves. How horrible does that pain feel for so long? Here's by Sati Das Ji, his whole body's going to be set on fire. He's saying, don't free me, I just want to see my Guru. Maharaj was the support of Bhai Sati Das Ji in the form of Bani and in the form of their physical body as well, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. Then when it came to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji themselves, he gave instructions to the executioner, imagine. He said to the executioner, wrap your sword in paper. Don't question what I'm telling you, just wrap your sword in paper. You think you can kill me, wrap that sword in paper, and you don't swing that sword until I lower my head. Because I'm going to do a Japji Sahib, you're going to wait. Imagine, you're going to be executed. You got one last wish, they're trying to break you, and you're giving instructions to the executioner. This is the sort of Guru we have. No one can make our Guru do something. Only our Guru can do whatever they want to do. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji at that time, they recite Japji Sahib themselves. They lower their head and the executioner swings their sword. They look at the paper, they look at their own sword. It's not covered in any blood. That paper hasn't been cut. The blade hasn't even touched Maharaj's neck. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji has taken off their own head. We sometimes we can think, well, how is that possible? But don't forget, Satsanga Ji, our Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, they are the one. They created this whole creation in the first place. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji designed all of this. They designed every matter, every gas, every solid, all the planets that we don't even know about yet, let alone Earth. They made all of that. So removing their own head, that's child's play. That's child's play. If you've got the power to make this whole universe that we as humans don't even understand here, surely they can remove their own heads. That's nothing to our Guru. This is the sort of Guru we have. So by Mati Dashi, they were only worried about their Japji Sahib. All of these Guru Sikhs, including our Guru, were only worried about Naam, nothing else. They had the darshan of Guru through the Shabad and literally as well. So I think the last thing I want to say is we're very lucky. If you think about it, Satsangji, we're very lucky to have a Guru like Guru Granth Sahib Ji. We're very lucky to have a Guru like Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. And by Dayala Ji, by Sati Das Ji, by Mati Das Ji, these are our ancestors. We descend from these shaheeds. I don't care what the color of our skin is, I don't care whether we're Punjabi or not. If we're Sikh and we're learning about Guru and Guru Granth Sahib Ji is our Guru, then these are our ancestors. These are actually who we descend from. Right? We're very lucky. They've set the example for us. So I thought to finish off Satsanga Ji, we're coming to the end. It'll be nice if we say this dohra together. So I'm going to go back through. So let's say it together, Ji. Satsang Ji, let's all join in. Dohra bal chutkiyo bandhan pare kachu na hot upaye kahu nanak ab ot har gaj jo ho sahaye bal ho bandhan chute sab kich hot upaye नानक सब किछ तुमरे हाथ में तुम ही होत सहाय संग सखा सब तज गए को न निभियो साथ कहु नानक विपत में टेक एक रघुनाथ नाम रहियो साधु रहियो गुरु गोबिंद कहु नानक जगत में किन जपियो गुरमंत राम नाम उर में गयो जाके सम नहीं कोय जे सिमरत संकट मिटे दरस तुहारो होए राम नाम उर में गयो जाके सम नहीं कोय जेह सिमरत संकट मिटे दरस तुहारो होए बोले सोनेहाल सत श्री अकाल वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह. So to finish off, I thought we'd cover just some final thoughts, some things to think about that we covered today. So what is our relationship? What is my relationship with pleasure and pain? How much of the pleasure that I'm chasing is making me forget our Guru? And how much of the pain I'm feeling is making me remember my Guru? Right? Two very different things. Have I taken Guruji's hand through Naam? Are we meditating? Do we meditate? Do we read a Japji Sahib? We don't have to read a whole Sahaj Path. We can just start small, but are we doing it? Are we even saying Vaheguru in our day-to-day lives? Are we practicing what our Guru is telling us? For those who don't yet, let's do it. That's what our Guru is telling us to do. It's all in Naam. And for those of us that are doing it, for those of you that are doing it, don't let go. Don't stop. Even coming to the Guru Card today, like I said earlier, listen to the Kirtan, singing Kirtan, whatever our relationship is with Naam, don't let go of it. No matter what we're going through, don't let go of your Guru. Because remember, what we do, that is our lotus flower, and we're holding it for our Guru. Coming to the Gurdwara, meditating, all of these things we do, our seva, whatever it may be, learning like we're doing now, that's our lotus flower. We're holding it to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji themselves, and they're the ones that are going to save us. So Satsang Ji, I've come to the end. Please forgive me for the mistakes I've made. One last time then, does anyone have any questions before we wrap up? Anji. Okay, so the question is, throughout the course, is there anything that I've learned about Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, that I didn't know before? I'm going to be really cheeky and I'm going to reverse this question. I don't have a Uno reverse card, but I'm using it. Is there anything on this course, by Ravinder Singh, that you've learned about Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji that you didn't maybe know before that stands out to you? You weren't expecting that, were you? Don't worry, this is a good duk. This is the duk we were talking about. Making you nervous right now, this is a good duk. Yeah. So VG, for anyone that didn't hear, you said one of the things that stood out was that the dohra, the first two couplets, are actually a conversation between the Guru and their own son. Right? It's really interesting when you look at it that way and you realize what they're actually saying to each other. It's very deep, Gurbani is very deep. To answer your question, it's only fair that I do. What stood out to me, especially in this talk, was that Maharaj was always there. They were never not there. They were there for Bhai Ramaji. They were there for Bhai Satidashi, Bhai Dayalaji. They were always there. They're never not there. If Naam is there, then Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is there. They're one in the same. So that's what stood out to me, that we talk about loneliness, we're never actually alone. And the more we follow this path, the more we're going to realize that we're not actually alone. Any more questions, Ji? That was a good question, thank you. Any more questions? Is everyone worried that I'm going to reverse it? Hanji? Is there going to be something after the course? I don't know. I don't know, is my honest answer. Is there anything you'd like to see? I'm reversing it again, isn't I? I've got a habit of doing this. So sorry to put you on the spot. Is there anything you'd like to see, maybe? Say again, sorry? A Sohila Sahib course. Okay, interesting. That's a good idea. We could do something like that. Let's have a chat after this. Okay, we can make something happen. Hanji, sorry. So my honest answer is I don't know what's next. Hopefully, Maharaj Girbakar, and let's see what they do. Let's see where they take us. Any final questions before we wrap up? Okay, Satsang Ji, thank you all so much. Let's finish with a Fateh. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Just a short announcement and then we go straight to the Kirtan. Thank you so much to the Sangat for coming to the course. This is our third course we completed now. We first had the Japji Sahib course, the Ardas course, and our Salok Mahalla just finished now. It was meant to be 13 weeks, and Guru Kirpa, we completed it with no breaks in between, as far as I know. There was no breaks. In terms of what's going to happen next, like VG said, nothing is confirmed. If you have any ideas of what you'd like to see, then let us know. We will try and do ad hoc talks. So next week is a break because it's Nagar Kirtan. So Benti, we're going to have a stall. So if you want to come and help out with the stall, you can speak to any of the Sevadars afterwards if you want to get involved in Seva next week. But there will be no Katha and there'll be no course next week. But then the week after is Vaisakhi on the Sunday, the 13th. So there will be a Katha downstairs and there will be a talk here. Don't know what the topic is, but something will happen on the 13th. And then from there we can decide what we're doing going forward. So again, if you have any suggestions, Sohila Sahib is a good suggestion. If there's anything else you guys want to see. Generally, things do die down after April. We have loads of breaks, we have camps and so on. So Sangat is a bit in and out as well. So that's why we decided to do 13 weeks. But again, just let us know. We're going to do Kirtan now for about 15 minutes. Tika, 15 minutes. And then afterwards, we'll do Ardas and Hukanama Sahib. There is Tegh here as well, just the Akhri Ardas. Shukrane di Ardas, saying thank you to Guru Sahib for blessing us with this year of 13 weeks. So Benti to all the Sangat, please stay for that as well and stay for the Kirtan. Okay ji, thank you ji. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. ਗਾਵਾ ਤ੍ਰਿਪਤ ਮਨ ਹੋਏ, ਗੁਣ ਗਾਵਾ ਤ੍ਰਿਪਤ ਮਨ ਹੋਏ। ਰੇ ਗੋਵਿੰਦਾ
ਸਜਨ ਹਰ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਏ, ਸਜਨ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਇਆ, ਸਜਨ ਹਰ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਏ, ਸਜਨ ਹਰ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਏ। ਸਜਨ ਹਰ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਏ, ਚਲੂ ਲੈਣਾ ਭਾਗੀ ਹੋ ਗੁਰ ਤੁਠਾ ਕਰੇ ਪਸਾਓ ਮਨ ਰੰਗੋ ਭਾਗਿਓ ਤੁਠਾ ਕਰੇ ਪਸਾਓ ਗੁਰ ਨਾਮ ਦ੍ਰਿੜਾਏ ਰੰਗ ਸਿਓ ਗੁਰ ਨਾਮ ਦ੍ਰਿੜਾਏ ਰੰਗ ਸਿਓ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਬਲ ਜਾਓ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਬਲ ਜਾਓ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਬਲ ਜਾਓ ਆਓ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਬਲ ਜਾਓ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਬਲ ਜਾਓ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਬਲ ਜਾਓ ਬਿਨ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਹਰ ਨਾਮ ਨਾ ਲੱਭੈ ਲੱਖ ਕੋਟਿ ਕਰਮ ਕਮਾਏ ਬਿਨ ਭਾਗਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਨਾ ਮਿਲੈ ਬਿਨ ਭਾਗਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਨਾ ਮਿਲੈ ਘਰ ਬੈਠਿਆ ਨਿਕਟ ਲੈ ਘਰ ਬੈਠਿਆ ਨਿਕਟ ਪਾਸ ਘਰ ਬੈਠਿਆ ਨਿਕਟ ਪਾਸ ਘਰ ਬੈਠਿਆ ਨਿਕਟ ਪਾਸ ਘਰ ਬੈਠਿਆ ਨਿਕਟ ਪਾਸ ਅੰਤਰ ਅਗਿਆਨ ਦੁਖ ਪਰਮ ਹੈ ਅੰਤਰ ਅਗਿਆਨ ਦੁਖ ਪਰਮ ਹੈ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੜਦਾ ਦੂਰ ਪਈਆਸ ਦੂਰ ਪਈਆਸ ਬਿਨ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਭੇਟੇ ਕੰਚਨ ਨਾ ਕੀਐ ਬਿਨ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਭੇਟੇ ਮਨ ਮੁਖ ਲੋਹ ਬੁੱਢਾ ਬੇੜੀ ਪਾਸ ਮਨ ਮੁਖ ਲੋਹ ਬੁੱਢਾ ਬੇੜੀ ਪਾਸ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਬੋਹਿਤ ਹਰ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਬੋਹਿਤ ਹਰ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਕਿਤ ਬਿਦ ਚੜਿਆ ਜਾਏ ਕਿਤ ਬਿਦ ਚੜਿਆ ਜਾਏ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਭਾਣੈ ਜੋ ਚਲੈ ਭਾਗੀ ਨਾਨਕਾ ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਵਡਭਾਗੀ ਨਾਨਕਾ ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਵਡਭਾਗੀ ਨਾਨਕਾ ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਵਡਭਾਗੀ ਨਾਨਕਾ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਲੈ ਮਿਲਾਏ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਲੈ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਭਾਣੈ ਜੋ ਚੱਲੈ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੋਹਿਥ ਬੈਠਾ ਆਏ ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਵਡਭਾਗੀ ਨਾਨਕਾ ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਵਡਭਾਗੀ ਨਾਨਕਾ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਲਏ ਮਿਲਾਏ साहिबा क्या नहीं कर तेरा करता तेरे संग है सदा सिर्फ सलाह तेरी नाम मन बसावे नाम जिन के मन वसया कह नानक सच्चे साहिब क्या नहीं कर तेरा साचा नाम मेरा आधारो साच नाम आधार मेरा जिन पुरखा कर साथ सुख मन आज से आजन इच्छा सब बुझाइया सदा गुरबानी गुरु कह नानक सुन हो संतो शब्द तरो प्यारो साचा नाम मेरा आधार वाजे पंच शब्द चित कर सभाग्य शब्द वाजे पांच दूत दवास कीते काल कंठ कुमारिया करम पाया दुर्जन को से नाम ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਤੂੰ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਤੁਮ ਪਹਿ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਜੀਓ ਪਿੰਡ ਤੇਰੀ ਰਾਸ ਤੁਮ ਮਾਤ ਪਿਤਾ ਬਾਰਕ ਤੇਰੇ ਤੁਮਰੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਮੈਂ ਸੁਖ ਕਨੇਰੇ